Hello and welcome to our new Evolve Founder Series. My name is Reid, and Evolve is a community interest company that we've set up as an educational platform to create opportunities for both women in entrepreneurship and leadership. I'm thrilled to see you here for this exciting Founder Series where we are talking with trailblazing women who have both started and successfully run their own enterprises. Women-owned businesses are still in the minority, and currently there's only 1 in 3 entrepreneurs are women. So during this series, we will be examining the specific issues that women face. We will also cover the challenges of being a founder and what that means, and explore the ups and downs of the day-to-day running and the working lives of running your own enterprise. So we'll delve right in. And today we're excited to be talking to Jackie Reid, who is the founder and managing director of DELI LITES. Jackie describes herself as a mum, a dog lover, a keen hiker and passionate vegan enthusiast, and a mentor for girls in sport. So as you can see from the successes, and we'll hear about the successes of DELI LITES, she has continued to innovate and drive the company forward to where it has got to be today. So Jackie, you're very, very welcome. We're delighted to have you join us today. So do you want to just introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about your background and how you have achieved so much in your business to date?
Well, surely, Maria. So, yeah, I'm Jackie Reid. I started DELI LITES with my husband, Brian, over 20 years ago. I suppose how it all started was I have 4 older sisters. We're a big family from a farming family out in South Armagh. And my sisters went to New York in a summer after graduating college. They came back and they said, listen, we're going to open a deli sandwich bar. It was just like that. I was the youngest of the family at that time, so I suppose I looked up to my sisters and I was like, oh, what is this all about? I was very intrigued. So
something like that out there, Jackie?
No, it was a first. It was definitely a first, Maria, because they had done their research when they came back and they'd seen nothing like it in the whole of Ireland. They travelled Dublin, Belfast, all round. So it was pretty, unheard of. I think my dad was getting a bit nervous after 3 years at college and paying all those fees for the girls to come back from a summer in New York with this harebrained idea, as he would have called it at the time, making sandwiches but at the same time he said, go for it, girls, he's passionate about it, so if it doesn't work out, sure, you can go into something else. So he was very supportive that way as well. So they opened in Uri, County Down, a little sandwich bar. So it was the 4 girls that was working in it. And the sandwiches were amazing. The point of difference was the flavours. Like in America, like what they do is big. Everything's big. The bread's big. The filling's big. The flavour's big. So
I've tried it. It's absolutely amazing. I remember years ago, that's where your go-to, straight to DELI LITES. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Really different.
It definitely was an instant success. And me as a 16-year-old seeing that unfold was pretty amazing experience because, I seen the queues down the street. I seen that phone happen. I seen us out in the back kitchen with our mother shredding the chicken and slicing the tomatoes. We couldn't get the ingredients out quick enough for the demand. So it was amazing to be part of that and to see, my 4 older sisters and myself and my mother all in the thick of it, making something happen, something new, something unheard of. So that really inspired me. Because I suppose at that time I was a wee bit lost. I left school at 16. And it was like, what am I going to do now? Where am I going to go? I wasn't really interested in the A-levels. I wasn't overly the academic sort of student. I would have seen myself as more a creative sort of person, very ad hoc, I loved art. I loved actually talking. I knew that. I was a good talker. So somebody says to me one day, there's a new course in the tech. Why don't you do media studies? So I tried it out in the local college in Uri. So at the same time, I was going up to the shop after my classes and working in the sandwich bar, which I loved. And at that time, all the students was going up to the sandwich bar. They loved it. It was a cool place. It was a wee bit like what the coffee bars is today, where all the students and the young ones sort of meet up, and it's a social scene. So it was a great environment to be in.
If you were getting all that experience, imagine that was a great opportunity for you to sort of work hands-on.
It was great, and I knew I loved talking to the customers, Reid, and actually then found that I love food. You know, I loved being experimental. I loved seeing what the girls were doing. So that definitely made me think, oh, I like this environment. So when I was working in the sandwich bar, a young fella came in one day, and he came in the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And I says, Jesus, he's a very good customer. So this turned out to be Brian Reid, who is now my husband.
Very romantic. Yeah. So you've more to thank DELI Lites for than just the good sandwiches.
Yeah, actually, it's not all right. My father was pretty happy too. He got rid of me. So, Brian was
moved on together. Then you moved into the organisation as a team.
We did. It happened very quickly after that. It was like he was a caterer in college. I was in the shop. We put our heads together and we said, listen, why don't we bring these sandwiches to the rest of the country? Now, I just didn't want to open another sandwich bar in Dundalk or Banbridge or the neighbouring towns. I had a bigger vision. And me and Brian was quite entrepreneurial at that time. Like, we were only 19. And we were like, I want to bring these sandwiches to the rest of the country, because we would have visited the different filling station halls during the day. People saying, can you supply me here, supply me there? So we knew, Maria, very quickly we were on to a good thing. And
so you said, Jackie, way back then, like, would you have had a vision, do you think? I mean, to say 20 years ago, would you have had a vision for where you want to be 10 years down the line? Or did you have a plan? And if you had a plan, did that change along the way, or has it just become the vision that you had at the start?
Well, I think whenever I was very young, I didn't have a vision at all. I think it all unfolded with working in the sandwich bar and going in and, myself and Brian doing the pre-packed sandwiches. I think our vision back then was definitely to have our sandwiches in every county of Ireland. And that was a big vision. 32 counties is a lot of area in the island of Ireland to cover. And that was our vision back then. Now, I didn't think at that stage I would succeed, and it would happen, but it happened actually in the next couple of years. So
I'm sure there was a lot of hard work attached to that, Jackie.
Yeah, a lot of hard work and a lot of blood, sweat and tears, but we enjoyed every minute of it, because when you're passionate about something and you have a burning desire, Maria, it all comes so easy. It's like getting up in the morning. You're excited.
I can relate to that, because I know I also you get bit by the entrepreneurial bug, and if you're really doing something that you're really passionate about, it's not like work at all. It's just, really exciting. Every day is exciting, building and growing. But I suppose I'm sure you've come a long way, and you've obviously a very successful business now. You employ over 300 people, which is a big team to look after. But have you had any, what I talk about, pinch points along the way in terms of achieving this success? Is there any one contract or one key thing that made the business take off or allowed the business to move or scale?
Yeah, I think there was. I suppose after our second move in 2003, we had moved sites twice within that period. And the growth, we were growing week on week, year on year, by at least 30%. So the business was flying. But there was one particular day I was closing up on a Friday afternoon. We were sort of finished early on a Friday, about maybe 4:00, and the phone rang. So back then, mobiles or anything. So I said, right, better run up these stairs again and take this call. But I missed it. But I heard in the voicemail, this was an international cafe chain who would like to speak to somebody involved in supplying all their sites for a rollout plan in Ireland. Now, I was like, what? Oh my goodness, who's that? I was so excited. Brian wasn't about at the time, so I just phoned them back straight away and was speaking to the guy. And that Monday morning, I was working on a massive brief. And this was my first technical brief for making sandwiches for this international customer. It was very exciting.
So what do you think led to that, Jackie?
I would say they did.
In terms of them contacting you, what was had you met them before, or how had they heard about you?
No, I think one of the guys did say that they were in Belfast and they seen our products in one of the central stores, and they were very impressed. They bought one of our sandwiches and they said it was phenomenal. There was nothing that stood up to that quality. And they took our details because they knew they were rolling out this plan in Ireland, and we were the first one they contacted. But it was a challenge, Maria, because the first store opened in Belfast, right? The second store opened in Cork. At that stage, we were only supplying Northern Ireland. So it was a huge challenge, but a very exciting one.
A lot of driving.
A lot of driving and a lot of making up that gap, because there's a lot of miles between customers. And that's what really scaled and grew our business, because we had to just go for it,
Well, I know within, the business that I'm in, I always say, use the mantra, the answer is yes. Now, what is the question? And I think that's, it sounds quite similar to that you go, yes, I can do that, even if it's Cork or Belfast. And I think when you're new in a business like that, it is an exciting time to explore all those. So you wouldn't say no to those opportunities. So you think that actually, helped you expand and grow?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It was my vision. I think, that was in my head years before it happened, that I wanted to be in every county in Ireland. So this made me achieve it very quickly. And, I was very much about, yes, we can do it. We'll make it happen, because Brian would be saying, but we don't have a big enough premises. How are we going to do this? We don't have all these vans. I says, Brian, we'll make it happen. And we did make it happen. And, it's fantastic to look back at that age and not being really scared, because it was a big undertaking.
But you had, risk averse, but you have a manufacturing plant now, Jackie, don't you? In Uri?
Oh, man, yeah, a big manufacturing plant. At that time we did as well, but it was on the small scale, Reid. But now we're working out of a much larger one, with the
that's based in Uri as well, is it?
Pardon?
Is that based in Uri as well, your manufacturing?
One Point is our head office, and that's our manufacturing for the sandwiches. And also we have a bakery there as well. We make all our traybakes and, croissants and different products as well. We supply along with sandwiches.
Early mornings and late nights, eh?
Yeah, a wee bit of everything. Cover the day parts,
Exactly. So, Jackie, you're also a mum. So, obviously the joy that goes with that. And would love to know, what like a normal day looks like for you, and how do you actually create that balance within your life, and is it a challenge for you?
Yeah, I would say the best way to describe it, maybe not today, but years ago when the kids were smaller, it was chaotic. Because I have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl, and I had them all like quite close together, and I was trying to balance. I was obviously bringing in the sales myself in the early days. So that was difficult, because I had to take them with me sometimes to go to customers and, entertain them in the back of the car. But
you were on the road.
Yeah, in the early days when they were kids, I was on the road a lot, so they came with me, and then eventually I got a nanny, but that took a bit of time, because we were afraid of spending too much. We just didn't want to get too much debt too early on in our business career. So but nowadays, like my eldest is 16 and I have a 13-year-old and 11-year-old, and they're into their routine. They're up and away to school every morning. I think I get actually more done now, in these COVID times, because I don't have to go and travel to Belfast or Dublin for meetings. And that was difficult.
You can do too much, yeah. And
sometimes, to get around all the customers. Now it's done.
I suppose the children, and they probably enjoy seeing you running your own business together as a team. I'm sure that's something that they love to see every day. Are they part of any of the decision-making processes at this stage?
Oh, absolutely. Stephen, 16, he worked in the bakery last year, loved it last summer. So he's finishing up his GCSEs now at the end of the middle of May. He's back into the bakery. He's a real keen interest in that, because he eats the traybakes all day. My daughter then, Brooke, she's 13. She's a vegan like myself. So she's on all the taste panels, because we've obviously a plant-based range of sandwiches and ready meals. So she comes on the panel and does the tasting with myself and the other team members. So they're very focused and they're very involved. And they would tell us now and again to stop talking about work when we're around the dinner table. So we do listen to them.
No more business talk. So tell me about your veganism and all your decisions around that's quite an interesting take on it. And I suppose then you can personally, make the decisions on what you bring into your business.
Yeah, that was very important for me, because I was a vegetarian anyway. Well, I would have had a wee bit of fish, but not an awful lot. But last January, I decided to become a vegan, because we had launched 2 years prior to that. We had launched a plant-based range of sandwiches. because we watch the trends very closely, and we have a great MPD department, and we could see that this was happening and that we needed to evolve and move on as a business. So what best way could I do that but live and breathe it myself? So I'm a vegan now, and I cook all my meals. I love it, and it's a good lifestyle for me. I feel fantastic for it. The range we have in the business is flying. It's a way of the future. I can see more and more customers moving over to veganism, or just even dropping meat a couple of days a week just for a lifestyle choice.
Was your decision around veganism, was it a business decision or was it more of a health decision?
A bit of both. Because I didn't eat really red meat anyway, I just thought I would try it out because, there's a lot of benefits in, not, eating more superfoods and vegetables and grains. And I just wanted to challenge myself as well. But it definitely has made me feel more energetic. So I think it's definitely a health choice as well.
Yeah, must give it a try one of these days.
Yeah.
But I suppose then, again, looking back to the start of your business, Jackie, like if you roll back 20 years, is there anything that you look at now and say, what I'd have done differently if you put yourself back in those shoes, or do you think you'd have just done exactly what you've done?
No, I think definitely we're a wee bit naive, in the early days, Maria, you're thinking you can do everything. Like, I was probably wearing a lot of hats and juggling a lot of balls, and sometimes you would drop them. You'd be making the sandwiches, you'd be selling them, you'd be driving the vans, you'd be cleaning the kitchen, you'd be doing a wee bit of everything. So, and even doing the invoices. So I would say, we're a bit naive, and we should have took people in earlier to help us, more expertise, even within the sales department. I done sales on my own for about 6 years before I took on a sales rep. So you could imagine that you would be an awful lot further on if you'd invested in people and brought them in at that stage. But I suppose that's the only regret. And maybe a bit of mentoring as well, people to help me develop myself as well.
To bring something that you do a lot of now? Yeah.
Yes, definitely now. I'm doing it now. You see, over the last 12 months with the pandemic, I've started to do a wee bit of self-development. I've looked at myself, and for the first time ever, and said, well, I need training. I need to be better, and trying to focus on me a wee bit more. And I suppose, as the saying is, it's never too late, isn't it, not to improve yourself? Definitely
not. It's never too late. And I think personal development has become something that we recognise is really important, especially over the last number of years. But I suppose being a woman in business, I'd just like to ask you, you and Brian work together, of course, but still, you're at the forefront of the business, and you're leading the business to great success. Do you find that as a woman you've faced any specific challenges, like, people not taking you seriously, or any things that you think that would have been specific to you being a woman, and how have you overcome those?
Yeah, I suppose a few over the years, because I would have been predominantly in sales, Maria. So I would have been traveling out around, retailers and doing presentations and even going to events. And, I quickly established that it was very male-dominated industry. So I did feel a bit intimidated at the beginning. Some of them didn't take me seriously. And, I was a young girl, and I was like coming along a bit naive, but, they didn't really scare me, but I did feel uncomfortable sometimes whenever, there would have been events where they'd be inviting their male suppliers to golf days and going back to the pub for a few drinks. And that didn't happen within, when I was there. And I just felt like it was a wee bit unfair. And maybe it was a bit of a disadvantage in the early days on getting big contracts. But probably overall, it's made me stronger as a person. But I would like to see more women going into catering and manufacturing.
Yeah, and what's your opinion on what holds women back? Do you think it's
confidence? Yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't think you can ever have too much confidence. I know myself, I battle with it even today. I sometimes question myself and my abilities, and you have to step back and realize what you have done. And as women, because I think we do so much, and we're back, looking after the kids and minding them and making sure they're okay, and they're being developed and they're mentally stable, that you forget about yourself. So therefore, I think you can only try and develop yourself in as many ways as possible, because men seem to have more time to do that, and I think women.
It's brilliant now that you're now spending more time on your personal development. So
yeah, and it's great. I feel good for it.
Yeah, and not feeling guilty about it. So I suppose as well, like I'm imagining that a business like yours, you'd have to introduce a lot of digital systems, especially over the last year. Have you found that innovation has been a big part of your, during the pandemic, and how you get things moved, or is things just remain the same?
No. Actually, we launched an e-commerce site there back in, was it April? So when COVID first arrived, it was like, right, all of a sudden our business and our volumes was slashed by over 50%. So it was a wee bit of a shock to the system. And, we've a great senior leadership team. We got together, put our heads together and said, right, guys, what can we do here? And so the fact that we couldn't bring the sandwiches to our retailers, we decided to bring, our products to the customers direct. So we opened it up, the e-commerce site, and had a list of different ranges of sandwiches and traybakes and, like treat boxes. And it really took off. It was phenomenal, from the beginning. The orders was coming in, and then it even moved into the corporate clients. So a lot of factories and different places had contacted us about, setting products out for their staff who was working from home. So we acted very quickly there, and that really helped our business and helped our staff as well,
So you're constantly moving and changing, I suppose, and innovating. So, you have a big team, you have over 300 people. I mean, what do you think that you do as a leader to, bring that team along that journey with you? And how important is that?
Yeah, well, I think communication is a key word there, keeping the communication clear and regular to your team. We have regular meetings with them, even over the pandemic. It was like doing Zoom meetings, having fun nights in. We've got a company newsletter as well. We send out on a weekly basis, just letting them know everything that's going on, and, even channels of how they can communicate with HR, or if they're having any issues at home personally or within their work life. So I think that's key, and to make it very easy for anybody who needs to come and ask for help, or, to help try and develop themselves.
And also for you, Jackie, I mean, it's not a traditional path. I suppose you're a young couple, off you went to, build on your dreams and everything. But I suppose if you look back now, do you see like any personal opportunities? Has this whole path changed you in any way, negatively or positively? Or what opportunities has it opened up to you in your life?
What, the current pandemic, was it?
No, just the whole path of running your own business, and from over the last 20 years. Do you see that? Has it changed you as a person, either positively or negatively, or has it created opportunities for you that maybe you wouldn't have had otherwise if you hadn't have been that entrepreneur and been that business leader?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't change it for a second, Reid. I loved every minute of it, and I still love it. I think it's only positive, the whole experience, even through the tough times. And it's like, it's even exciting whenever you're faced with challenges. And we've had a lot of challenges over the years with the recession back in 2009. There was foot and mouth disease that, affected us getting our sandwiches across the border. And then with COVID and Brexit, all these challenges in our business has been major, but it's made you so strong and more resilient as a business. And, I just think, you turn them into positives. Because every negative, there's always an opposite there. So we always look on the bright side, and we go through it. And I think our whole team now knows that nothing will bring us down. We'll always rise from the ashes. So it's been a great experience. And
have you created a culture within DELI Lites of anything that brings people together, or what sort of culture have you tried to create, and how has that been of benefit to you and your team, and how you maintain the loyalty within your team?
Yeah, no, we have a fantastic team. Like, we're very together. I would say, it feels like a big extended family. Like a lot of the senior leadership team has been with us a long time, and they've went through a lot of the pains, the growing pains of business, the ups and downs, the challenges, the disappointments and the achievements. And I just think, they're just on the journey with us, and they're fantastic, and they love every minute of it. And I think if you can just, have your open communication with them and, keep them on the journey, keep them part of it, you just go from strength to strength.
And do you think that, you're saying that is it communication? Is it, you personally know all your senior team? Does it feel like, as you said, it feels like a family?
Yeah, so absolutely.
And the family businesses are really, the backbone of the economy, especially in Northern Ireland. And, they reckon that family businesses are going to be, what's going to rebuild the economy. So is it that sense of family, do you think, that has kept you on that path and kept you?
Absolutely, Maria, yeah, because, we have that, running through the business, because me and Brian is very passionate, and, we're always telling the guys, how we want things done, and, and how they are so important to us as a team, and they know themselves that we're only as good as the team around us. And me and Brian certainly couldn't achieve all what we've done today without them. And, it's all about, taking them out, having fun together. We go up hiking Kilbrony Park here in Rostrevor just to get some downtime and have a bit of fun. We go out for meals, well, pre-COVID. But we have had the Zoom nights in and had a bit of fun. And it's about enjoying that together, and it not all being about work, but also getting to know their family and their husbands and wives and kids. And like even at Christmas time, we didn't do it this year, unfortunately. We had a Santa experience where all the staff in the manufacturing out the back, front of house, MPD, everybody within the business brought their kids in, and we had Santa there, and we were giving them gifts, and we had a big party, and it was just fantastic. And, it's very important to do that. And we're also very heavily involved with our charity partners. So we get all our staff and our team involved in, raising awareness and money for our charity partners. May it be cycle rides, may it be, cake sales, or just really anything. We get our heads together and we do things together as a team, and we have the wins together, which is even better,
I think having that sense of purpose is really important as well when you're, giving back and working together and all. And we certainly missing all those Christmas parties. So hopefully this
get back forward to them coming back,
start celebrating out and about again. But I'm sure you've received lots of advice over the years. So we'd like you to share with us, what is the best piece of advice and worst piece of advice you've been given, and especially what advice that you would give especially to women who are thinking of taking that step and starting their own enterprise?
I would say the best piece of advice I got was get out of the kitchen. Because I was literally in the kitchen making the products. I was just so passionate about what I'd done in the early days that, I would maybe allow myself a couple of hours in the late afternoon to go out around and sell. But I was in a very privileged position that a lot of our customers came to us. So they phoned us up looking us to supply them. So I hadn't to do an awful lot of selling. But whenever you were trying to scale the business, then it was like, right, okay, here, I need to get out of the kitchen. So my actual company accountant at the time said that to me, and that was probably the best piece of advice I ever took, because I acted on it, and I was very good at sales, and the business.
And so that advice is really telling you to act to spend more time strategically, really.
Yeah.
And working on the business, which is good advice all around. So, what would you say to a woman now wanting to take that step, or say, will I, won't I, with all the challenges of family and everything? What advice would you give to a woman wanting to start her own business?
Well, I think, if you've got an idea and you're passionate about it, I suppose the first thing would be to do some research on that. Who's your competitors? What is your niche? What's the size of the market? What do you need to get there? What's your vision? What's your goals? And really, when you get all those things lined up and you still feel really good about it and confident about it, just go for it, because that's what I done. And don't let fear stand in your way. You know, if you feel passionate about something, trust your gut and go for it, because it will happen. And, you know, there's so much support out there as well for people starting businesses, and just go and get the support and ask people for help. I didn't ask enough people for help, and I should have, because now I'm in a position and that I can help other business owners and startups. And I want to do that because I want to share my knowledge and my experience to other business owners. So I would say just do your homework.
Brilliant. That's brilliant advice, Jackie. Thank you. And I'm sure people will get huge benefit from that. Just do it, you know, feel the fear and get on and do it anyway.
Yeah, just get on with it.
That's brilliant advice. So finally then, looking forward, what does the future hold for DELI Lites, and what's your vision for the future?
Oh, my vision, right? Well, I've moved out of the supply in every county of Ireland, so a wee bit of a bigger vision now, which is very achievable as well, because we're currently on that journey. We've moved into export, Maria, so we're supplying our products to the UK and to Europe. And very excitedly, we're going to be having our first customer in Dubai in the next couple of weeks.
Brilliant.
So it's exciting times for DELI Lites, yeah. So it actually feels great to say that. It's like, woo, because, you know, sometimes, you know, you put your head down and you keep slogging on, but, you know, you have to realise your achievements and what we've done, even through the pandemic. We didn't lose focus and we didn't lose faith. So I suppose my vision is to go back to where it all started and bring DELI Lites back to the US, to New York, where it was first developed, or the first thought of a DELI Lite sandwich bar was created, and it was bringing our products back there.
Fabulous. That's a great vision. You're going global.
Yes, absolutely. And I know I'm going to do it too.
You certainly will.
Yeah.
Well, Jackie, that was a hugely inspiring sharing of information, and it's given us lots to think about, lots of insights, lots of tips for people that are thinking of starting their own business. And you, I think, Jackie, are a living example of what can be achieved when you just put your mind to it. So huge thank you for giving us your time and sharing all those insights with us. I want to say a huge thank you also to the Evolve team and all the time that they put in to helping women entrepreneurs and leaders. And thank you for taking the time out to listen to our Evolve Founder Series today. And we're looking forward to seeing you at the next Founder Series. So thanks again, Jackie.
Thank you, Reid.